RASHEE Rice is this year's drafted too high in fantasy leagues because of Patrick Mahomes, winner of the year. Congratulations to RASHEE Rice. That's pretty much all I have to say about him, and we're done. RASHEE Rice, obviously, he was somebody that was at least on our radars this last year. 6 foot, 200
We
pounds
liked him.
out of SMU. Yeah, he's
We
23
liked him.
years old. He had 1,350 yards on a 30% target share, 96 receptions. He had 10 receiving touchdowns. So a dominant year. However, if you call that his breakout year, that was his senior year. So he got a later breakout age,
And not Power 5.
and he's not Power 5. So there are a couple things here that were like, eh. But RASHEE Rice is going to the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's always, I don't know what it is with the Kansas City Chiefs and just taking this type of receiver every single year. But it's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can put anybody on the field, and they're just trying to get these cheap like receiver contracts. They want to invest in their defense more. They obviously have a huge contract, Mahomes, and these are going to be easy rookie receivers to pay. You're going to have them on rookie deals. I'm more interested to know, how does he fit there, and what does it mean for the likes of really Sky Moore is what I guess what I'm most interested in.
I don't even know what to think about Sky Moore, honestly. I don't think this.
He is honestly this
Uh,
year's Sky Moore. RASHEE Rice is like, I mean,
no, because they're completely different wide receivers,
I
in my opinion. I
no,
mean, I guess
not what that meant.
from a value perspective, I guess you could say that
That's what I
that'll
meant.
be the same thing. They might be a little bit
They're
overdrafted.
going to be overdrafted because of
Sky
Patrick
Moore
Mahomes.
going late first last year because of his landing spot, and he had 2 Y's in his last name. RASHEE Rice is a pretty cool name too, so I could see him going up
Maybe, yeah.
further than he should as well. But to me, this just screams replacing Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, RASHEE Rice is 6 foot, 200 pounds, 32-inch arm length. Juju was 6'1", 215 pounds, almost 33-inch arm length. And Juju did pretty well in that offense. He served as the weapon, the type of weapon that they wanted, which was not a dominant weapon, but just another guy that could take away from the threat of the Kelsey Mahomes duo, and definitely was a threat specifically in the intermediate game. He's not really going to be a field stretcher. MVS is going to be that field stretcher. He's the only one that's being paid long term to do what he does in Kansas City. RASHEE Rice now, I think, is going to be an intriguing guy to look into in Kansas City. I think he won't be. I think he's a bit more intriguing than Sky Moore. I personally do, because of his skill set. I think Sky Moore is more of a gadget guy where they use him. I thought they would use him in special teams last year. They did. He sucked, and then they used him again, and then he did well, and use him in the run game and jet sweeps, and that's what they did as well a couple times. With RASHEE Rice, he's more of your traditional wide receiver who, in the intermediate game, could be intriguing. I mean, they did just lose. They lost Juju and they lost Mecole Hardman. So they were destined to draft a wide receiver. I think you're lying to yourself if you don't think RASHEE Rice isn't going to do anything next year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has to throw it to someone. MVS isn't going to be commanding those targets. Sky Moore, I personally don't think is going to be commanding targets. That leaves Travis Kelce and whoever else they bring on board. And right now it's looking like RASHEE Rice. Does that mean he's going to be a dominant fantasy receiver? I personally don't necessarily think so. But I I think he's a bit more intriguing than Sky Moore. I do. I really do.
I think he has the chance to be a more consistent receiver on a week to week basis than Sky Moore does. Like you said, because Sky Moore is more of that gadget guy.
I
However,
think he can command consistent targets.
I would be a lot more excited about this if it were, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be. I was thinking maybe it would be Hyatt, and maybe I was thinking it would be Downs. But you've got, I mean, the best available on the TV behind us. You've got Hyatt, Mims, and Downs
It
all
is
up there.
saying something. I mean, we liked Josh Downs, we liked Marvin Mims, we still do, and we like Jalen Hyatt as a field stretcher. We didn't like Jalen Hyatt to the Chiefs because of MVS, which that left Josh Downs and Marvin Mims,
Yeah.
and they voluntarily picked RASHEE Rice over all of those guys. So that does say something about what RASHEE Rice is as a prospect. That being said, it's not like the Chiefs are known for hitting at the wide receiver position in the draft consistently. They draft guys that aren't going to be dominant asset. They don't want to pay those guys. They don't want to pay them long term because they're paying Patrick Mahomes $500 million. It's kind of what they do at the running back position. So I mean,
I think
long term,
I think
I don't know. I don't
Rasheed
know.
Rice is a guy I think that's probably going to start sneaking up into the late first of Dynasty Superflex rookie drafts.
I think I will say this year, I think it's a bit more merited than Sky Moore. There were too many mouths to feed, too many experienced mouths to feed last year for Sky Moore to really make sense to go where he was going. I get it with Rasheed Rice this year, and we've got to see some of the running back landing spots in the third round coming up. But honestly, if it goes like that, if Rasheed Rice is going 111, 112, and the running backs don't get the draft capital that we expect them to get, I think we could look in the future and be like, okay, yeah, that's merited.
All right, well, ranking points per game, TBD. We're gonna have to figure all that out. Still, as we get later in these guys, it's gonna be hard to predict that. But obviously, Rasheed Rice looking to be an impact player from day one in Kansas City and going to play
Yeah.
with the best quarterback in the league in Patrick Mahomes. So that is the bright side. All right, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got Dynasty content coming out all night tonight and continuing into the offseason as we get down into breaking these rookies for the rest of the Dynasty offseason. As always, we appreciate you watching. Thanks for joining us.